As we read about Jesus in the New Testament and look at his life and how he treated people, there's a dominant theme of love, mercy, and grace. Jesus is the image of the invisible God, and he gives us a clear picture of who God is and his character. Sometimes reading the Old Testament can be shocking, because when you read the Old Testament, you read it and you see that the Israelites are utterly destroying multiple people groups, and God is telling them to do it. And you're going, what? I thought God was about peace and love. We don't sing many songs about God being violent. This seems like a different God in the New Testament. But we know that God is the same and his character never changes. The God of the New Testament is the same as the Old. So how do we understand that in light of some of the things going on in the Old Testament? And the answer is that we have to understand how it fits in with the context of what Christ came to do on the cross. God's plan was to bring salvation and redemption to the world through the Israelites, to bring Christ through their line to ultimately save us all from destruction. The story of humanity is us falling deeper into rebellion. But God intervenes, and he never had to, but he did. That's his grace. And when these outsiders who are doing so many unspeakably wicked things like sacrificing babies to false gods, when they begin to infiltrate the Israelites by intermarrying and settling with them, God has to act, or else they will corrupt Israel, the line that he plans to bring redemption, grace, and salvation to the whole world through. And God doesn't just discipline other nations. After constant rebellion from Israel, God even disciplines them at times. God is not bloodthirsty, and after violence and destruction, he takes no joy in that. But he also does not passively sit by as evil overtakes the world. He's patient, but not tolerant of evil. When God used force and destruction, it was a last resort to keep wickedness from running rampant. He requires obedience and holiness. And in his grace, this all led to Jesus providing a way for us. God is loving, but he's also just. And one day he will judge the world. Holding it off now shows his grace. And those moments in the Old Testament of his wrath are just a foreshadowing of what is to come at the final judgment. So I thank God for the gift of salvation in Christ.